How's it going? Trey Clark here. As I usually am, I'm going to jump right into this as I usually do. I'm going to pile on to the last video that I posted about the tides being caused by salt rather than a magic floating rock moving around an orbit that is drawing quadrillions of tons of water towards it. Go back to the last one. It's pretty self-explanatory as far as the title. So I'm kind of making notes as I'm talking here. But one of the things I wanted to, one of the guys on the thread, I can't remember the name right now, Steven, I think, on this channel. Salinity, okay, so we have electrolytes. Electrolytes is salt. That's why we drink Gatorade, okay? And there's an equilibrium. Now, I know I kind of look like a fatty, but I've done some very long distance exercises. I've ridden my bike from Houston to New Orleans, 6 days, about 100 miles a day type thing. I've run long distance runs. I've done all that stuff. So I know what can happen if you do not keep your water and electrolytes balanced. I'm going to try and keep this short, but I want y'all to dial into this as far as an idea of how you're thinking about water and salt, okay? Because I'm really starting to get convinced that salt water, if I'm touching on the same thing as the previous video, just bear with me here, that salinity and the level of salinity is not caused by dead fish that give off salt, okay? Something is going on there. And salt is conductive, it's super conductive. You can just start adding salt to water and things, transfer at a much higher rate, at a much higher amplitude. So the thing I want to talk about is in our bodies, we have to maintain an electrolyte equilibrium. We have to. If you drink too much water, because, and I sweat a lot when like a lot, when I'm doing like a long distance deal. If you drink too much water only without feeding your body electrolytes, you get, I think it's called hypothermia. And so you're constantly weighing yourself so you know how much, even sometimes you take salt tablets at some of the stops. So just to make sure that your salt water in your body, which is essentially what it is, we're a high percentage of our cells are made of water and all that stuff, and it has to be a good equilibrium of salt. Well, why, as an organism, if the earth is, if you think about it, is an organism that is a clock that is breathing, possibly with its tides and all that stuff, is not on the same equilibrium. So what I want you to do, if you know more, I don't know enough about this stuff, I'm going to spend the next week on what the equilibrium needs to be in salt water and what needs to be in our body. But basically our body needs to be salt water, not just water, or we die. And people die from drinking too much water and not enough salt on marathons all the time. It is hypothermia, I think. Anyway, so if you're watching this and this is interesting to you, and especially if you already know something about this, maybe you're an RN, look into levels of salt. And if it's similar to what the ocean needs to be as far as the level of electrolytes that we have to have in our body, there's something there. And I can run with that, or maybe you guys can. And but there's something about salt. I don't know why I didn't see it, because salt is as important as water. And this has all kind of hit me today. I've spent a lot of time on it. By the way, I train dogs all day, so I talk to them and I get to look stuff up, so I have more time on my hands than most people do. Water without salt in our body is deadly. Think about our earth. Water without salt. Why do we have salt? Well, we can't drink it. Water everywhere, not a drop to drink. So we can't just consume it like we do fresh water. But if it is a conductive entity, if it does move energy through as a conduit, then there's something there. And my point that I was making in the video earlier is that I just don't see how they can say that, well, animals die in the ocean, and they have for millions of years, so oceans are salty. Now, they don't say how salty the ocean should be. How much salt does a dead animal give off? I've seen plenty of dead animals. We have plenty of dead animals in the freshwater lakes, and they don't seem to be particularly salty. So, and the tides do not affect freshwater entities. Even if they say, you're going to talk to someone that's like, yo, yeah, I lived near Lake Ontario or whatever, and they're going to say, yes, it does. No, they don't. Follow it through. See it through. So look at salinity, our bodies, and what we need to maintain as far as the salinity in our bodies and what the oceans maintain. If it's similar, there's something there. That's not a coincidence, okay? That's not just accidental whales dying a million years ago. That is us being symbiotic here, and it's something to pay attention to. This is a puzzle, and it's supposed to be fun as fuck, and it is for me. I hope it is for you. It's like a treasure map. You're like, okay, salt. Didn't think about that. All right, let's look into salt. And then you kind of connect a few dots and stuff. So have fun with this. God damn it. Okay, my name's Trey Clark, and I hope you all having a great evening. I'm just going to keep this short. Cheers.